was just saying we did a reality TV show for here.
What's up, good people? It's your boy, bro, Troy, aka Mr. Y4C, better known as Coach TJ, and we are back on the Bro Code Show. This month is all about dope dads. Now, tonight, just like any other night, we have our special sponsors, and that special sponsor tonight is Reggie Winston, owner of the barbershop located at 4551 New Bern Avenue, Suite 180 in Raleigh, North Carolina. Now, check out the barbershop for all of your premier grooming services. And don't forget to ask about those monthly memberships to save you both time and money. Now, for those who are new to the Bro Code Show is a live talk show created to discuss, uncover, justify, and dismantle the issues that concern us most as fathers, as brothers, as family, and as a community. And we like to give that to you raw, uncut, and real respectful. Now, our greatest desire is to embrace everyone in positive, popular conversation. So no, we're not in the business of bashing or belittling anyone, but we do believe in being comfortable with having uncomfortable conversations, because that's where understanding starts. So as grandma would say, it's chew the meat and spit out the bone. We need some help though. For y'all listening and y'all looking, please go to YN4C TV. That's on YouTube. YN4C space TV. Like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification button. So when we go live, you'll know it. Also help us build our Instagram page. Go to @BroCodeShow right now and hit like, love, all that good stuff. Leave us a heart and all that good stuff. Help us out, build that IG page. Fellas, what's good, man? This seems like, was this night 4? I know this is a new week, man, but we have been having some really dope conversations with some dope dads, even some dope young ladies as well, man. But we want to keep it popping, man. What's good, Bro Smith? How you feeling, man?
Oh, man, it's been a cool weekend. I've had the chance to hang out with a number of dope dads. One of my homeboys, Marcus, had a birthday party for 2 of his 4 children over the weekend and managed to entertain everybody as well as burn the grill all in the process. And yesterday got a chance to see Genius in action at a comedy show.
Yeah.
Where, if he doesn't tell you the story of why he's no longer going to have any kids and his operation, you need to get him to share that with you when he have time. So
that sounds like a story indeed. Yeah, man. How about you, bro, Kurt? What's good, man? How you feeling, man? I'm not even gonna let you talk. I'm a little jealous, man. I heard you was down there with some white sand and you can smell salt water right now. Uh-oh, did he go meme on me? Oh, I thought you went meme on me. I was like, uh-oh.
Oh, man, I'm recharging kind of because I'm at this team retreat, but getting those moments where I can put my feet in the sand, man, you know it's nothing like it. So
I can dig it, man. A moment to recharge, man, refresh, man, and regroup. I can dig it, bro. I really can, man. Well, tonight, fellas, is no different than any other night this week. It's a special night because we're going to be talking with some more dope dads. You know, first we have the pleasure, man, and all of these dads, man, are personal friends of ours too, man. For those that don't know, man, our squad and our circle is pretty thick. So we're going to continue to have those dope dad conversations with some dope dads. So nonetheless, first and foremost, we got my brother and my friend, man. This is Mr. LaFayette Trawick. And LaFayette Trawick is a research scientist, motivational speaker, mentor, social activist, blogger, writer, aspiring life coach, CEO of Claiming Ignorance, Youth Elevation Network, and a native of Newark, New Jersey. now resident of North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina, with over 25 years experience in pharmaceutical and biotech clinical research. Now, Lafayette is happily married and is the proud father of 3 beautiful girls, Lauren, who is 12, and twin girls, Lindsay and Layla, who are 10. Though his greatest accomplishment is that of husband and father, Lafayette serves within numerous child advocacy organizations, educating, empowering, and inspiring individuals from all around the world. So I introduced to some, my man, Mr. Lafayette Trawick, man. Lafayette, what's good, bro? How you feeling, man?
What's up, man? Blessings, blessings, blessings. My brothers, my brothers.
Indeed, man. You looking right smooth there with that nice salt build, should I say, right? I like that.
Well,
man.
COVID does give us some gifts.
Yeah, indeed.
Give me this beard.
And for those that already have those gifts, COVID enhanced it. How about that? So, indeed, man. Well, it's good to see your face, man. It really is, man. Much love and sending good vibes to you because you out there in LA, right?
I'm out here in LA on the left coast.
Hey, man. Indeed, man. Well, for those that don't know Lafayette, man, who is Lafayette Trawick at the core, man? Talk to the people.
Oh, wow. I can honestly say coast to coast and outside of the country. Anybody who knows Lafayette knows that I'm a servant. That's me at my core. I'm a servant, and when I get a chance, I'm a servant leader. You know, anybody in their own space as a servant can lead, but when I have the chance to lead others, that's who I am. That's baked in the cake. And obviously it starts with my kids, but I don't limit it to only my kids. I think I have 3 biologicals, but I think I got, thousands of other biologicals because I treat them all like they're my own. And it's about me being a servant to them.
Indeed, man. You changed the game with that one, man. And as community advocates, as children advocates, as children being part of our burden, man, we talk about the difference maker and being just a leader and a servant leader, man, really being selfless and putting other people's wants before your needs. And that takes a special heart, man, having the heart of a servant. Right. So definitely. I love it, man. Always good to talk to the fellas, man. But we're not done yet. We also got the man with the plan. It's my man, Tru Pettigrew, man. Tru is founder of Tru Access, which serves as an inspiration empowerment consultant to help individuals and organizations bridge gaps across areas that cause division, dysfunction, and separation. Tru is happily married and is the proud father of young King Austin, who is 9. Help me bring my man, Tru Pettigrew, to the stage. Tru, what's good, brother? Uh-oh, we got a mute monster. Hold on. Boom. Uh-oh. Am I doing it?
Yeah. He's coming. He's coming.
Boom.
All right, there we go.
There it is. My man, Tru, what's good, man? How you feeling, bro?
Man, feel good. Feeling great. What's up, fellas? How y'all doing? Man, good to see y'all.
Absolutely. Always good to be seen, as my grandmother would say, man, and not viewed, right? So with that being said, man, I'm glad you guys can join, man. So yet another one, man. Let's chew the meat and spit out the bone. So JC, what you got, bro?
Oh, man, I'm excited. I'm excited. Over the month, we've had a chance to talk to some amazing men and women to hear their stories of how they've inspired other brothers and their families to success, and just how passionate they are about the job that is fatherhood. We're going to get into it tonight as well with some father figures of mine. I want to first turn the first question over to Tru, if he is still there. I don't know if he's got lights in the house or power, but say something if you can hear me, Tru. Otherwise, I might turn it over to Mr. Black Santa over there in Lafayette.
No, I can hear you, man. I can hear you.
Okay. Well, I can hear you, man. I'm curious,
Can
man.
you guys hear me?
I can. All right. So I'm gonna go with the question. You let me know if it works. So the question is, what would you say is the dopest thing about fatherhood? And how has your father influenced you?
And there's so many dope things about fatherhood, man. I would say one of the dopest things about fatherhood is really the unconditional love. Like a child just shows and gives you unconditional love. We truly get to experience what that is like as, as a dad. No matter what you do, no matter the mistakes you make, like your child is going to love you unconditionally. And you also get a chance to feel what that is like because you have that same love for your child. You really get a chance to share and express unconditional love no matter what they do, what they say, how they behave. That love's so real. And I think I really believe, like when you talk about fatherhood, being a father, I truly believe that there's a reason that God allowed us to share that title with him. The one title we get to share with fathers, is because we truly get to experience the father's love through the relationship that we have with children.
You know what, Tru? That hearing you just say unconditional love actually made me feel good as a father, because we talk about love, but unconditional love is at another level. And as a father, as a girl dad, I totally chime in with that. I have a son too, but it's something different about those daughters for me. But Lafayette, I'm interested. You're a girl dad also. Let's talk about pivotal moments when we talk about your daughters and how they have impacted your life.
Wow. I'm glad you mentioned that you're a girl dad, because I was a girl dad before Kobe even made it popular. And but being a father of 3 girls, I was already passionate about just my mentoring and really getting working with young people and elevating them. But then God blessed me with being a father of 3 daughters. I mean, they are my world. I would chop down trees with my hand for them. And and there's nothing that I wouldn't do. But people always told me, oh, it's going to be difficult. You got girls. Oh, and the running joke was, oh, you're gonna have to pay for 3 weddings. You have to pay for 3 weddings. And I said, paying for 3 weddings is easy. I can go get money. I can get money. That's no problem. Finding 3 young men worthy of the mantle of being priests for my daughters. Notice I said they got to come in and be priests for my daughters. To get that trifecta that was one moment in my life as a father where I realized I got to double down on my passion for mentoring and for helping even one young man turn the corner. Second moment, and this is not being I'm not patronizing, but it's a good time for me to mention this, because the second moment came because I had recently gone to Charlotte with Tru. Actually, we were together all day in Charlotte, and we were having a good time. We came back to Raleigh that Sunday. I was riding around with my oldest daughter, and the news came across that about what happened to Kobe Bryant and Gigi. And I was in the car with my daughter, and seminal moment in fatherhood in general, whether you got sons or especially if you have daughters, game changing. And I'm there in the car with my daughter, and I broke down crying. And my daughter really, I think that's the first time. No, the first time she saw me cry was when my father passed away, which is the thing I'm going to mention last before I throw it back to you. She saw me really break down and cry. We actually arrived at my home, and my other 2 daughters were there, my twins. They saw me crying, and my daughter explained to her younger sisters why her father was crying. The explanation that she gave, not just about Kobe, but why her father was crying and why this was so important to me, told me already that my daughter was paying attention to me, and she knew what being a father meant in that moment. And she also knew, because the first time being a father really meant a lot to me was because I had the good fortune of growing up with my dad, and I only lost him a few years ago. Smartest man I ever knew, loved my mother to pieces, always wanted love and got love from my father, but always sought my father's approval. And getting my father's approval, you can put me on Mount Everest, because it really meant something to me. It meant that I accomplished something. And what I wanted my dad to see more than anything, and he was able to see this before he left this earth, was that I took my priesthood into my home and developed that relationship with my daughters that he gave to me, so that my daughters could not just survive, but that they could thrive. And there's a big difference. So that's my feeling on that, CK.
I want to ask you something in regards to the trouble with finding 3 priests for your daughters. Chris yesterday, he talked on how he's taking young men out to dinner. He's met them at the door in an effort to get to know them personally. Have you had one of your bad boy type moments where you have to check the young men? I mean, your girls aren't that old, I don't think, to start dating. But do you see yourself as that type of guy?
My daughters are not that old to start dating, but trust and believe, when they get ready to run the gauntlet, dad will be that dude. Okay? I will take a page out of Chris's book easily. And my job is to make it so difficult for them by raising the bar. And I'm gonna make sure these guys reach for the high-hanging fruit. The low-hanging fruit dudes, keep it pushing.
I love it, man.
We reaching for high-hanging fruit in my house if you're gonna meet the standard, and that's just keeping it 97 plus 3.
Man, Drake said 1 more than 99. Okay, so I like that. You know what I love about what you said, Lafayette, is you're setting the standard.
Yes, sir.
You're taking the responsibility to say, you know what, this is not what I expect, not just expect of the young man, but I'm teaching it to my daughter so she knows what to look for. So I love that, man. Well, fellas, our children are directly aligned to our legacy. Like, we use that word a lot. And legacy has many legs to it. It's actually in the word. But I have to believe that most dope dads want nothing more than to pass down knowledge, experience, assets, and ultimately things of value. Mm-hmm. You know, both of you fellas, man. Tru, I'm gonna start with you, man. But what would you say that is the most valuable thing that you have or want to leave with Austin?
Man, a sense of purpose, right? Knowing why he is here. I've been so fortunate, Troy, to have gained clarity of purpose and know why God has gifted me in the manner in which he's gifted me, why he's given me the desires of my heart that he's given me. And, to lean on what Lafayette said earlier and combining those to understand where and how I've been called to serve. To me, man, there is no greater thing outside of having that relationship with Christ is to know your purpose. And so if I can help provide guidance, I can't tell him what that is, right? God determined that. Our purpose exists long before we are even here. But if I can help provide guidance to him to understand the importance of clarity of purpose, that is the one thing that I have, that I've been fortunate enough to gain, that I would want to leave with him. And in addition to a number of other attributes and characteristics, right? Man of faith. And know who you are, and whose you are, right? A man of honesty and integrity and strong work ethic, all of those attributes. But I would say the most important of that is knowing your purpose and why you're here.
Yeah, man, knowing your purpose, man. Like that one's really probably the number one question of the why. Like, why am I here? Like, why do I take up space on Earth? I love that you've made that part of who you are, Tru, so much so that you made a workshop out of it, and the GPS to purpose, right?
Yeah.
I love it, man, and I think that really speaks volume when you can give a sense of that to a child. Like, clearly, we want Thundercats, all that good stuff. We want you to have all that good stuff that you love, but really setting them on the path of really starting to understand that why, and really almost leaving breadcrumbs. That's what it's really all about, man. I can really dig that. So if you're just checking in, we're here talking about dope dads on the Bro Code Show. We've got my man Tru Pettigrew, and hopefully we'll have Lafayette Trawick come back and hang out with us. But we got to pay the bills, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to take a real quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Are you looking for a barbershop that provides luxury grooming services in a safe, clean environment, and that also gives back to the community? Well, look no further. The Barber Shop is the place for you. We're currently looking for new members. We have a location here in Raleigh, and we have a future location coming soon in Wake Forest, North Carolina. If you'd like to be a member or just give us the opportunity to serve you, please visit our website, thebarbershopnc.com. See you soon.
Mute, unmute. You sound real good on silent though.
Oh man, I got hit with the mute monsters. I was doing good too. I think I was about.
Oh, you look
5 shows
smooth,
in.
man. You look smooth.
Sorry, guys.
I was like 5 shows in, man. I got caught again, bro. Yeah.
You was
But I
dropping
went back.
bars, wasn't you, Troy? Dropping bars, wasn't you?
Hey man, spit hot fire.
I'm back.
Yeah. So, welcome
back.
back to the Bro Code Show,
Can
man.
you hear
Welcome back, Lafayette. We're talking to dope dads doing dope things,
Right.
man. With Lafayette Trawick and my man Tru Pettigrew. JC, what you got, bro?
But one of the things we were going to hit you with, Lafayette, is just in regards to legacy type questions. That's how we ended yesterday's conversation. I'm curious, what would you say is one of the most valuable things that you want to leave with your children as part of your legacy?
Probably the best thing that happened for me was the day that I found out my purpose. So I teach my daughters to, number one, know your value. It's the mantra: honor your last name, and then know your purpose. Know why God put you on this earth. Me and your mother were the vehicles to make it happen, but God is the one who gave you the purpose. So have a personal relationship with God, and then one day He's going to tell you your purpose for being here, and that will be your awakening. And that's what I tell my daughters, and I repeat it constantly. And I hope I'm living long enough for them to know the day that their purpose knocks on the door, because that's going to be a transformational day for them. It was for me. So I'm definitely trying to pass that on to my children.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome. Just to segue a little bit, often people say that pictures speak 1,000 words, but memories last a lifetime. I've got a number of pictures that we'll bring up on screen in just a second. I'm curious what comes to mind. What story, what memory do you have as you are looking at some of these images? And that will go to Lafayette. Troy, you got?
My legacy, my progeny, my reason for living.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got him, Coach.
Praise God.
You have any more of those photos up there, Troy?
Oh yeah. We got another one for you, Lafayette, man. Tell us what you think about this one. Talk to us about it, man. What is this?
Servant leader. I'm in Nairobi, Kenya, building a dormitory for young Kenyan boys and little girls rescued from female genital mutilation and becoming a Maasai warrior at the same time. Again, transformational servant leader across the world in East Africa.
And we got one more, man. We talk about service, man. I couldn't let this one go.
Listen, servant leader, Southeast Raleigh. I think we brought fruits and vegetables there. I think we transformed lives. We had backpacks. We had everything there. And again, this is why you guys are my brothers. This is why you're my brothers, because the synergy, again, of servant leadership permeates our DNA. And I guarantee you, if you see me in any picture with any one of these gentlemen, somebody's being served. Put me to the test. Bet me Tru's money. Bet me Tru's money. And I promise you, you'll lose.
Yeah, I mean that's really good stuff, bro. You're absolutely right, man. That day was a day full of servitude.
Serving the community.
Yeah, man, we served over 400 book bags, over 150 boxes full of fruits, vegetables. What else, fellas? What we had? Hot dogs. Hot lunches.
Yeah.
All through drive-through, man. And you're absolutely right, man. Now that I think about that, you said that jokingly, but I believe that if I scroll through my phone and there's any one of us in a picture together, we were serving that day. Whether it was in a barbershop,
Yes, we were.
whether it was at the YMCA, whether it was at church, whether it was at a workshop, empowering and inspiring others. You're absolutely right, man. When I think about that, all the things that we've done collectively have done to be for the efforts to help others, man. And,
I think if I can jump in, I think it's because I think we all recognize that it's bigger than us. And we are selfish enough and smart enough to let ourselves be used to do some kingdom building down here as men and as fathers. I think that's what I think.
Yeah, I like that. John, what's happening, brother? I love it. Servant leader deep inside his DNA. John also gave you a shout out. He spelled it wrong, but we're gonna let him pass on this one. True. Yeah, his thumb was too fat when he was typing. Dope dads on fire indeed, man. So if you're just checking in, man, I'm talking to the squad, man. We're talking to servant leaders, dope dads, individuals that do great things. I saw this picture, fellas, and I just thought that it spoke volumes, but it said dope dads do dope things. That's just what it is. There's no special anomaly to this thing. It's just it's a lifestyle. It's not something you say because you think you got swag. Nah, it's the heart of a matter, man. So anyway, man, Lafayette, you brought up a great point, brother, when we talk about the things that we do on a collective basis. But a part of that is the words that we speak to ourselves. Kirk, we done said this 50 million times, man. We're getting ready to do a workshop on it at a fatherhood conference where we're talking about self-talk. And even if we go to the good book, right? The power is where? In the mouth, right? The words that you speak create your reality. Well, hey, I was perusing social media one day, man, and there was this young king by the name of Austin. I believe he's 9. And he's also your son, Tru. And those same words that we speak, we pour into our children, not just in the community, but also in our household, man. And I saw this video, man. I'm going to play this video, bro, as we talk about these things called affirmations. With the work that we do with the mentoring program with YM4C, words matter. And we call our young men kings. And king stands for kind, intelligent, noble, and go-getter. And that matters. So I want to play this video along those same lines and speaking about affirmations, and then we'll hear more from Tru Pettigrew.
I am gifted, I am talented, and I am loved. I determine my attitude, and I'm determined to stay positive. My light will always shine, even in moments of darkness. Darkness will never eclipse my light. I am gifted, I am talented, and I am loved. And I'll always lead with love because love never fails. And you never give up, and you would always tell the truth and take care of mommy if you're boys. Anyways, don't make excuses. You always make additions.
Man, if that wasn't the cutest little thing, man. You know what, Tru? I had to laugh. He said, make sure you take care of mommy if you're a boy. I fell out laughing. I said, uh-oh. But at the end, man, it shared sentiments of something that me and you have said to each other several times, just in general conversation. We don't make excuses. We make adjustments. That's why Lafayette is in the car. Kirk is at the beach. You just got home. And people don't know that I'm at a hotel in a soundproof booth. We don't make excuses. We make adjustments. That's right. But what's your thoughts, man? I thought that was really dope, man. Tell us about that, Tru.
Nah, thank you, man. And you said it already, man. Words have power, and life and death is in the power of the tongue. And so the words that we speak to ourselves to affirm ourselves will go a long way. And so I knew it was important to provide these words of affirmation, to provide this daily affirmation to my son, because the world is going to tell him he's not enough, particularly being a young Black child growing, young Black male growing up in this world. The world is going to tell him that he's not enough. And he's going to hear that, but he needs to fill himself up enough so that when those words of negativity, those words of defamation and destruction come his way, those messages come his way, he's so filled up, even if it takes some toll on him, it won't deplete him because he's already filled himself up before he's walked out into the world. And so that's why I believe, in being a speaker, I understand the power of words. And so pouring that into him, and that is an affirmation that we say with each other every day, so that he understands that he is loved, that he is more than enough, and that he should lead with love, right? And these are seeds that are planted in that I know that as long as we plant these seeds in good soil, that they will bear good fruit one day, raise up a child in the way that he or she should go, right? And so that's why I believe it's important that we all, even for us as adults, that we have our own daily affirmation, but even more important, that we provide and equip our children with words of affirmation and daily affirmations.
I love it, man. I love it. Whatever you feed will grow, good or bad. So it sounds so simplistic, but it really is. It really is, man. I think the other one, other than the life and death, is so a man thinketh in his heart, so shall he be. And what's believed on the inside bleeds on the outside. It just oozes out of you. Good, bad, right, wrong, and different, good, bad, or ugly, man. So I love it, man. I really love it. I'm curious, JC or Kirk, man, did you have any thoughts on that?
Ditto. Listen, he said it earlier. He talked about being purpose driven, man. And our words do matter. I listen to people talking, and you know what? I pray for people because you can hear in their words how they feel about life. And it's so important, man. It's so important to have that foundation, obviously with God, but with each other too. So I love it. And we don't want to brush over the point. True didn't bring it up. I missed that video. I'm about to go back and watch it in entirety. But he also had Austin praying with them during the whole pandemic. How many days, True? 200, 250? Every morning?
Every 198 days.
Okay. Yeah, man. That's strong.
Yeah. So on that same topic of words of affirmation, it's every time we're meeting with one of our young kings or queens, before we end every conversation, we have to make sure that they're reminded what king stands for, in which that is kind, intelligent, noble, and go-getter. And we beat that into them as much as we possibly can, so that they could go out living life knowing that they can do all things through Christ and that they are of royalty. So it was real cool seeing your son doing that. And I love the 8 o'clock prayer sessions as well, especially when he popped on there with one of his toys. And that's all I'm missing. You have to bring that back, bring that back for us. The community wants that.
Well, it's funny, JC, not just the community. It's amazing, right? I mean, I think it was John Maxwell that said, we can teach what we know, but we reproduce who we are, right? And we plant these seeds, and we never know when and how they're going to take root. But if you never plant them, right, then there's no opportunity or possibility for it to grow. You can't expect an apple tree if you've never planted the seed, right? We often hear you reap what you sow. I think the implied piece of that message is that you also only reap when you sow. Yeah, you reap what you sow, but you can't reap unless you sow, right? And so Austin blew me away, man, and it was so humbling and so encouraging as a dad. He asked me recently, JC, when are we going to start praying in the mornings again? I mean, you can only imagine as a dad when your 9-year-old comes up to you and says, hey, when are we going to start doing morning prayer again? Like that just made me feel so fulfilled in that moment. But it wasn't forced. It was never forced, and it's something that we did together as a father and son. And I think our children yearn for that quality time, with their fathers, right? And so that was an opportunity for him and I to spend that quality time together. And I believe he valued that, and then it become something that he now is looking to continue, and that's a beautiful thing to me.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure that was so fulfilling, man. It probably caught you off guard, and there's probably so many emotions at that point. And if nothing else, it was a sense of accountability. Because like, man,
Right.
how can I make any type of excuses? Like my 9-year-old, that could be watching Transformers at 8 o'clock in the morning or sleep, says, hey, man, I really appreciate how that makes me feel, and the encouragement that it gives me. And he gets to do the Fortnite dance live in front of the world too. That helps out a little bit too as well, right? You gotta love that.
Right.
Kids be kids, man. If you're just checking in, we're here with the Bro Code Show talking about dope dads. Want to shout out the crowd real quick, man. I see my man Tamisha. Tamisha, what's going on from Too Much TV? Says, I love to see black men take the position in kingdom building. Shout out to you, Tamisha. We love it too. You were talking about the word king. We actually put it on the van. And Tamisha says she saw me rolling around town in the van, man. Said we're blessed to do great things, and that's indeed true. I receive it. Absolutely, man. Shout out to you, Tamisha. She says, Kings, I love it. Oh, she shout out to you too, Kirk. She says she's at the beach too on her birthday weekend. So she's getting a little R&R as well. What up, Kate? Kate says you only reap when you sow. You can reap, but you first have to sow. Indeed, man. On fire. We spit hot fire around here on the Bro Code Show. Shout out to you, Kate. Nonetheless, man, we are rocking and roll. I don't know if Lafayette's coming back, man, so we're going to keep this party moving. Kirk, I think you up next, bro.
Yeah, man. So Tru, you earlier spoke of a sense of purpose, and then you transitioned to saying clarity of purpose. And I want to know if that led you to create Tru Access. I want to tell us more about the work you do at Tru Access and what you're most proud of and what's coming next.
No, absolutely. So my clarity of purpose did come with the creation of Tru Access. And that purpose is building bridges. I'm a bridge builder. That's what I've been called to do. Building bridges across whatever differences may exist, whether those be racial divides, generational divides, cultural divides, gender divides, relational divides of all kinds. I'm a bridge builder, and I'm very, very clear about that. Right. And so that purpose is why you exist. Why are we here? I believe every purpose statement should start with, I exist to serve by, right? Because I may not know any other person's specific purpose, but I know it's to serve, right? And so I exist to serve by building bridges. That's what it is for me. And that revelation came, and again, man, my son has been such an incredible source of inspiration for me, because back in 2014, on the heels of the death of Michael Brown in Ferguson, I was concerned for my own son's safety. Now, I had experienced some excessive force growing up. I grew up in Baltimore, lived in LA for a time, and I'd experienced some excessive force myself from law enforcement. And so living in Cary, North Carolina, predominantly white and somewhat, some may say, affluent community, I was concerned for my son's safety when it came to law enforcement. So out of a love for my son and concern for his safety, I walked through the doors of the Cary PD one day to get a sense of where they stood on all of the injustices and unrest that I was seeing take place across the country when it came to law enforcement and young Black males. Even though my son was only 2 years old at the time, I knew that if I was going to be raising him in this community, I needed to have a sense of comfort of knowing that I didn't have to worry about his safety when it came to law enforcement. And if I did, I needed to know what I could do to address that. And so when I walked through the doors and met the officers that I met, and you all know these men, I met JB and then I met Chief, TG, and the relationship and the brotherhood and the rapport that was built with them helped me to understand why I was given the gifts that I've been given, the gift of facilitation, the gift of communication, the gift of connectivity, for a purpose far greater than my own selfish gain or prosperity. It was to be able to build these bridges of trust and understanding across these different areas of division. And so again, my son was my inspiration behind all that, out of a desire to ensure his safety. And it led me to that revelation and that calling that's been placed on my life.
I love it. I love it. So I'm curious, what's next then? So when you decided to take on this mantle, because that's what it is, right? When take on this responsibility of accountability of putting other people's needs before your wants, to be selfless instead of selfish. When you embrace that, what are some of the pushback that you've had to deal with or be challenged by, and how did you overcome it?
Well, to answer the question of what's next, it's really and I'll answer this as candid as possible, right? I have my plans and God has his plan, right? So I'm just going to be as real as I can. So it's for me, it's about being obedient, right? Leaning not on my own understanding, kind of really seeking to God for guidance and direction. But the way that I see it, right, and I'm through Tru's lens, it's just continuing to grow nationally and internationally to allow myself to be the most trusted and valued resource for building bridges that I could possibly be. I've had the good fortune, I've been blessed to be able to do this work and serve individuals, serve organizations, corporations, foundations, industries ranging from municipalities, law enforcement agencies on a local, national, and federal level, professional sports teams, corporations, colleges, high schools. It really has run the gamut of how many different types of organizations I've been able to serve with the opportunity to help them build bridges of trust and understanding in their respective organizations. And so it's continuing to expand and grow that reach to be, as I said, the most trusted and valued resource I can be for organizations, both nationally and internationally.
Troy, that's how I first actually got to know Tru. Was kind of on the heels of him coming and present some information to my company. And from that moment on, I was like, this is a guy I've got to stay near this guy somehow, some way. And I was blessed to then take part in some of the barbershop sessions that he'd have with local law enforcement in the surrounding communities. And I was even more blessed to kind of follow him along the movement. We talked a little bit about it yesterday as far as the King movement. And for those that don't know, King, which in this case stands for Knowledge, Inspiration, and Nurture Through God, is a national Christian men's movement that's geared towards strengthening men in their personal relationship with Jesus Christ by providing brotherhood, encouragement, accountability, knowledge, and fellowship. And it's a non-denominational movement that seeks to unite true Bible-believing Christian men across racial, denominational, generational, and political lines so that we can hopefully work together to expand the kingdom of God. I am curious if you could share a little bit about your personal experience with the brothers within King. And I know you used to lead the Valley chapter. We're sad to see you go, but tell us a little bit more about your experience and how others could get involved that might be interested.
No, absolutely, man. And hey, look, I'm no longer the chapter president, man, but a member and brother for life.
That's right.
So member and brother for life of this, not just King, of this chapter, of y'all's chapter.
Okay.
So you ain't gonna kick me out that easy, JC. No, but King has been transformational in my life, man, because when you start this journey of faith and obedience, and sometimes you can feel as though you're alone on this journey. It can sometimes feel like a lonely journey and a lonely walk. And then when you meet other men, when you meet other brothers that you realize are walking the same journey as you, and had some of the same experiences as you, and are willing to come alongside and walk alongside and lift you up and support you and inspire and motivate you, man, that's transforming. And so Chris Broussard, who was the national president, the founder, I was following Chris on Twitter simply because of being a basketball fan for his work as a professional. And then I saw Chris post something about the King movement. And I wasn't even aware that it even existed. I was following Chris just as a fan of his work in the sports world. And when I read it, it felt very similar to work that I was already doing here in this area. I mean, it felt very similar with the barbershop rap sessions, bringing men together at a trusted venue in an effort to help us to be iron sharpening iron, to pour into one another, to help us address challenges and issues that affect us all as men. And when I saw the King movement, I responded to Chris on Twitter and told him a little bit about some of the stuff that we were doing in this area and told him I was interested in learning more. And much to Chris's credit, right? But God is amazing, man. God knows the plans, right? Much to Chris's credit, he hit me back on Twitter, and we started a kind of an exchange that way. And then we shared our contact information. He said, "Hey, if you're ever in New York, let me know." And it just so happened within that next week, I had to hit the New York on business, and I told him, and he met me. He met up with me, and we chopped it up. And man, we've been brothers ever since. And he said, "Hey, man, I love the work that you're already doing. Would you be interested in starting a chapter in the Raleigh-Durham area?" And absolutely, it was a no-brainer for me, and started that chapter. And Chris and I have been brothers ever since. And the men that I have met through King, from chapters across the country, man, my man Stack down in Charlotte, like that's my brother. Pastor Duncan in Virginia, that's my brother. It's been such a blessing, man, to have these men of God across the country that walk in the same walk, having some of the same shared experiences that you can turn to, that can pour into you, and in turn you serve as a resource for them with no judgment, right? The only thing, like, here's what a way I tell people: you are surrounded by a group of brothers that want more for you than they want from you, and that is an incredible feeling. Because a lot of times in this journey, we're always looking at people like, okay, what does he want? What's his angle? What does he want? Man, to King has really helped me to grow in the area of my faith and my calling and my obedience, man, and knowing that I've got a group of brothers like all of you right here, right, that I could call upon and lean on with no judgment. That you don't want anything but what's best for me. And I can't tell you how incredible of a feeling that is.
Well, you passed the torch to a pretty good runner. Lafayette's now looking after us and trying to keep us all grounded and together. We actually had a cookout at my house not too long ago, which was pretty powerful, and got to meet up for some golf. But Lafayette, we were just talking about the King movement. I'm curious if you could share what your experience has been thus far with King.
Well, I can't say enough about King, and I'm honored to just be in a position to serve other brothers. Again, this is a phenomenal movement, a growing movement, one that serves the needs of brothers from coast to coast. And I, like many of my other brothers, I'm sure Tru has even touched on it already, we're all heavily involved in our own individual pursuits in the vineyard. And many times as priests, which is a term I use generously, we don't have someone to pour into us because we spend a great deal of our time pouring into others. And to find a group of like-minded brothers who are interested in not only developing their own personal relationships with Christ, but developing a brotherhood and fellowship around kingdom building. I think I coined the phrase pretty well, I think, at our last meeting when I said that King is actually doing a lot more for me than I feel like I'm doing for it, inasmuch as whatever we get when we come together as brethren who are concerned about building and creating disciples, which is our charge from God, right? Whenever we get together and we get that energy, we get that light poured into us, excuse me, all we do individually is go back out and pour back into other people. And to me, therein lies the whole service of man. And King provides that opportunity, that vehicle that also influences our relationships with one another. More importantly, our relationship fortifies our relationship with God, and allows us to stand shoulder to shoulder and not feel so alone out there. You know, as Black men, you know, quite often, you know, we find ourselves doing for ourselves and feeling by ourselves. King removes that. And I'm just happy that I was able to join this organization under the vision of Chris Broussard, and then under the immediate leadership of Tru Pettigrew. My charge now, with the bar having been raised so high, is to continue it, continue to pour into our brothers, have them pour into me, and to continue to make an imprint, some kind of a positive impact on the triangle, and leave the triangle better than we as King found it. Knowledge, knowledge, information, and nurturing through Christ and through God is what we're charged to do.
Yeah.
So,
hey, can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
KT? So, if I think I'm correct with this, Lafayette, King has elevated to the point where I believe the city of Raleigh reached out to you to ask if King would help them to identify the next chief of police, to serve on a council to help identify the next chief of police. Is that correct? The city reached out to you?
Yes, that is exactly correct. And honestly, because King already, and I have to throw it back to you once again, your footprint is just large, already enjoyed a really strong, robust relationship really with all of the municipalities and law enforcement departments in our area. We continue those relationships, and as such, I was contacted by the city of Raleigh to serve on a blue ribbon commission, if you will, to interview the next or the incoming chief of police. We have moved through that process, a really life changing process. I had no idea what would be required from the community. I served my part representing the King movement in performing that duty. We're now in the final stages of what is going to be a really new chapter for the city of Raleigh. And I can honestly say that the King movement had a part in it. I tried my best to represent you guys. I tried to represent the men that we serve, the communities that we serve. I did my very best in getting us to that point. And that the new incoming police chief, much like the police chiefs in all the other municipalities, will know who King is, what we do, what our purpose is, and how we can serve not only the new police chief, but also the city of Raleigh. So yes, you're absolutely correct, Tru. Very honored to do that.
That's awesome, man.
Thank you for that, Lafayette. Tru, thank you for bringing that up. And so there you have it, folks. We want to wrap up this Bro Code episode with Dope Dads. We want to thank first Tru Pettigrew for coming by and sharing with us, sharing about the purpose, sharing your family. Sharing your family means something. So we want to thank you, Lafayette. We want to thank you for sharing your vision, coast to coast, international, and all the work you're doing with the city and us, and sharing your family also. Your daughters and your mission for them. So we want to thank you for that. If we can wrap everything up, we can talk about how important fathers is. And the quote I want to use for that is simply, a child's most necessary need is a strong father to set the tone for their lives. And I'm glad to know that there are so many of us on the same page with that. And we're sacrificing to do it because it's not easy work. And a father must show up. Rain, sleet, snow. We got to show up. So again, thank you for coming onto our show today. Back at you, Troy.
Indeed, man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Tru Pettigrew and Lafayette Trawick. Indeed, Dope Dads. Brothers, I love y'all like cooked food, man. Biscuit on the side, slice of cake, all that good stuff, man. So much love, man. Safe travels. Continue to do great things. And we look forward to the next conversation. So for our viewers and listeners, join us next Sunday as we continue this conversation with more Dope Dads. And we're going to celebrate our 1-year anniversary of the Bro Code Show, setting the pace with impactful, courageous conversations that challenge the status quo. We'll be chopping up with big homies Dr. Terrence Ruth, professor at NC State University, go Pack, and future mayor of Raleigh, North Carolina. Also the big homie Delon Fletcher, pastor, educator, thought leader, and community leader, and my man Antoine Arnold, educator, success coach, and executive director at AMI Kids Infinity Wake. So join us next Sunday, Father's Day at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on the Bro Code Show. Now make sure you guys go check out our YouTube page at Y4C TV, and also check out our Instagram page. Help us build that at Bro Code Show. As always, man, we appreciate our guests. We appreciate the bros. We appreciate all the viewers and those that took the time to check out these dope dads. And as always, we always want to leave you with something positive. And I gave it away a little bit earlier, but I think it deserves another look. Dope dads do dope things. It's your boy, Bro Troy, a.k.a. Mr. Y4C, but better known as Coach TJ. And we are the Bro Code.